Hi everybody, I am here as promised from a couple of days ago to do a book review. Today a historical novel. Now before I move on to the novel in question, I just want to mention that it is the second in a series, second and final in a series, and it is the conclusion to this book which some of you may have already read, Falling Pomegranate Seeds, The Duty of Daughters by Wendy J. Dunn. Now this came out in 2016. And I think I had it on a PDF before actually it even come out. So it's a long time since I've read it, but hopefully I'll get a chance to go back and treat myself and read it again soon. It has been re-released and the cover looks a bit different to this now. I will say please read them both for sure. But if you haven't read this one and somebody has gifted you the sequel and you can't wait to read it, then you don't have to have read the first one for the second one to make sense, if that makes any sense at all. So this is it. Being guarded by Simon there. He always looks very serious, so I leave him in charge of important things. So Falling Pomegranate Seeds, All Manner of Things by Wendy J. Dunn. I loved this book. So I'm sure many of you can relate to this. You've got a book and you want to read it because you want to know what's going to happen. So you read it and then you're all sad because it's over. And I've had a couple of really tough mornings getting up with my little ones because I'd sat up like really late reading this because I don't get much sort of reading time like in the school holidays and stuff, you know, when the kids are around and there's things going on. So yes, and I was trying to think of a good way of describing this book. And I'm going to describe it as a hug in a book. So even though some of the events described in this book, you can see here that it's Catalina, Catherine of Aragon. Obviously, she experienced a lot of sadness in her life. But you don't kind of read it. You feel the empathy with that, but you don't feel as though you've come away drained and upset or anything like that. You just feel close to the characters in the book. So although obviously this is about Catherine of Aragon, it's written from the perspective of a lady called Maria. And her and Catherine became friends as very young children and called each other sister. And she came over to England with Catherine when Catherine was to marry Arthur, and she sort of pledged her life to Catalina. This lady in the end ended up marrying and becoming Baroness Willoughby. I think it's Baroness. Let me just check I've got that right. You know, when you have a moment and then you can't remember. Yes, Baroness Willoughby. And so you might recognise that name. So she was the mother of Catherine Willoughby, who became the ward of and then married Charles Brandon, Duke of Suffolk, when his previous wife, Mary Tudor, the French Queen, younger sister of Henry VIII, passed away. And so in the book, she's writing the letter. She feels Catherine is angry with her for the decisions she made, such as granting the wardship. And she's just trying to explain how her life panned out and why she made the decisions that she did, because she realizes that her time is drawing close and she doesn't really get to see her daughter and she doesn't want her to be angry with her. She wants to explain. So it catalogues the things that happen sort of just before and when they first arrive in England, and all the losses and the difficulties that these women, so her and Catherine and some of the others, go through, and the closeness of their relationship. And you really feel the bonds that are formed. But it's very easy to think about all the things that poor Catherine went through and then forget that there were people who also tore themselves from their home country and didn't know if they were going to see their families again and had to make new lives in a cold, horrible, dark place. England can't be much fun if you've been living where they were. So I think it was just lovely. It was beautifully easy to read. It was just warmly written. For me personally, it was just the right amount of description. We don't want something to be really scanty, but sometimes when something's really thick and heavy with descriptions in a really minute way, I find that a little bit trudgy sometimes. So this sort of really was the right pace for me. It's a lovely long novel. It's nearly 600 pages, so you're getting a lot of book here. And I can't recommend it enough, particularly if you like Catherine of Aragon, obviously, and you obviously most of you must love the Tudor period. So it's actually for sale on January the 15th, 2021, but you can pre-order it now from Amazon, okay, and that will obviously get sent out to you. So definitely have a look out for that. I'm sure more review. I know there are other people that have reviewed it as well, so their reviews will probably be coming out too. Take a look at The Duty of Daughters as well if you get the opportunity, if you want to read both. And that is my review on All Manner of Things by the really lovely Wendy J. Dunn. Thanks everybody. Take care. Bye bye.